Godzilla King of the Monsters has arrived on Blu-ray, DVD, digital, 4K, and VHS. After watching the movie again, something that we didn't talk about back when this movie was first released in theaters stuck out like a sore thumb to me. At the end of the movie, after Godzilla defeated Ghidorah, why was there another Muto showing up to greet its new alpha? Since King of the Monsters came out, I know this question has been asked a lot amongst fans and viewers of the movie. If you didn't know, back in the Godzilla 2014 film, the big G-Man single-handedly killed 2 of the Mutos before they could reproduce and have their parasitic babies taking over the world, seemingly putting an end to this dangerous species, or so that's what we thought. The fan response to this has been mixed, with one side of the viewers saying that it doesn't make sense to include this new Muto after the events of Godzilla 2014. And the other side, those who were fans of the original Mutos, are happy with being able to see this monster once again. All opinions aside, why was there another Muto in Godzilla King of the Monsters? Let's get to it! To get things rolling here, let's first compare the 2014 female Muto with the new one seen in Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, what appears to be the most obvious difference is that this one is much smaller and more pointy than the one we saw in the past. Overall, this female Muto just looks more bony and frail than the one we seen in Godzilla 2014. Perhaps this is due to the female in 2014 being at the peak of her reproductive stage of life. Or it could just be that each Muto has their own individual looks. We just don't really know. The only other clear difference between the 2 female Mutos that I was able to see is that the new one has these spikes going down its back. The original female Muto had a more rounded and smooth appearance. If it wasn't for Godzilla Aftershock, the prequel to King of the Monsters that came in the form of a comic, then we may have really never known why there was another Muto. If you haven't gotten yourself a copy of Godzilla Aftershock yet, then I highly recommend doing so. And if you don't want the story of that to be ruined, well, spoilers ahead. In this official MonsterVerse story, we learn some more of the background of the Muto species of kaiju. While it was briefly mentioned in Godzilla 2014, it wasn't until Aftershock that we really got to see just how much of a parasitic life form these beasts are. Insanely reproductive, the Mutos have a real chance at taking over any planet they occupy unless controlled by a more powerful being. If a batch of eggs are allowed to hatch and grow to full-on adult size, there could be potentially dozens of these gigantic monsters all located on one single landmass. Once the juvenile or something along the lines of teenager Mutos change the world to how they see fit, they will then proceed to fight to the death amongst each other. The one left standing would then go on to become the Muto Prime, the dominant member of their species, and a monster that has been known to kill many members of Godzilla's species. To go on top of this crazy type of lifestyle, these Muto nests have been discovered all over the world in the MonsterVerse, meaning that almost any location could possibly have a giant parasitic monster nest right beneath it. And this is where the new Muto in King of the Monsters comes into play. There's a very good chance that there could be hibernating Mutos spread throughout the planet, and this new one is just simply one more of their species that was awoken with the rest of the Titans. See, residents, sometimes big questions left in movies have relatively small answers. But staying on the subject of this new Muto creature, why did this monster that is a known Godzilla killer, and from a member of a species that is parasitic and uncaring of other life on the planet, bow to Godzilla? Perhaps the monster knew that it stood no chance against Godzilla. Or maybe since the Muto Prime was now dead by the hands of the G-Man himself, that this young female Muto was leaderless and thus had no goal. And perhaps without a male counterpart, the new female Muto simply did not have any natural urges to fight Godzilla in order to reproduce. At the end of the day, it was quite clear that this Muto stood no chance against Godzilla and would have easily been defeated. And maybe this Muto was bright enough to understand that. In my own opinion, I kind of think that showing it, at least at this point in the movie, bowing with the rest of the Titans was not the best way that they could have gone about it. If you were somebody that just so happened to watch Godzilla 2014 and you didn't care about Godzilla Aftershock, then once you watched King of the Monsters, it made complete sense as to why you'd be confused about why the monster was there in the first place. I understand that it was a nice shout out to Godzilla 2014, but I really think just a quick news scene of the new Muto attacking some city would have sufficed better as an Easter egg cameo appearance. It really just doesn't make sense to me for a species that preys on Godzilla to suddenly bow down to him, or for Godzilla to even allow the creature to be in his presence. Do you think you'd ever see a hyena bow to a lion in real life? Exactly. Nonetheless, I felt it was necessary to finally put some closure on why this new Muto was standing around in the big circle party at the end of King of the Monsters. Do you think we will see this specific monster in Godzilla vs. Kong? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked today's video, make sure to show your support by hitting the old like button and subscribing to become a resident of Dangerville today. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and as always, this has been Jacob. Peace out.